here's Gord. I've known Gord for a number of years. He put this amazing program together and said, Odin, how many real estate agents do you know that are truly, absolutely giving you everything that you want when it comes to real estate? And I'm like, there's not very many of them. And he goes, I know. He goes, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've realized that in all that time, I have talked to so many real estate agents that they're missing this information. I've had so many people come through my regular investor training programs, but I've never really seen anything specifically for real estate agents and a success system like I have. And so I kind of entertained Gord, and I said, sure, show me. And lo and behold, here we are today showing you guys what I thought was pretty amazing. So with that, Gord, can you please take over? And I'll pipe in throughout the session here today. You guys please take notes. You have a 300% better chance of remembering anything here today if you just take notes, even if you never look at it later on. So please do take notes, ask questions, and of course, there's an opportunity at the very end, so there's no rabbits out of the hat, but I think, Gord, you'll go through that. So with that, I'll put myself on mute and say, welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Very good. Hello and welcome. And thank you to my gracious host, Odin, for helping me present this webinar specifically for realtors who are looking to transform their businesses into a referral generating, deal generating, commission generating powerhouse. And I hope you all want to do that today. I'm sure that's why you're here. Again, I urge you to put your phone away, as this information can absolutely change your business if you decide to apply the principles. And I trust you're attending today simply because you want to do more deals and more deals consistently. So my promise today is I'm going to show you how you can increase your sales and listings, how to gain multiple and loyal referrals, how to generate consistent commissions in less time, with less stress, with less competition. I'm going to show you how to build a new area of your business, and I'm going to give you an exciting reason to contact your current database. And I know realtors are always looking for excuses to reach out and contact their existing database to get another deal. And that's what we're going to show you that as part of today's presentation. But who am I to provide this promise? I know you guys don't know me, so if you don't mind, could I provide a quick, very short 2-minute history of myself so you know who's speaking to you? I started my career as a speculator, as a real estate speculator, making money on 2 spec homes that I purchased from a builder in Toronto when the market was in a bubble. I had no idea what I was doing, but I made money, and then I lost almost all those gains when the market crashed. And my lesson was I had no control over my investing at all. And so I thought becoming a realtor was the answer. So I became a realtor, and so I was able to find good deals and make money on the side in my side business. But you know, that wasn't really working out because I was driving an '82 Honda Civic, and I was also a full-time musician, and I was working in Toronto, and I was traveling all around the world, and wasn't able to spend a ton of time working with clients and taking them around in my beater Honda Civic. So, but it did teach me to understand the power I had as a realtor, both to clients, but also in my own investing side of my business. So I got some real estate training, and I became an investor. And so I took that knowledge, and I started investing in the Toronto area and all across southwestern Ontario, even into the Detroit areas, and then even more over the years into the US. And then I became involved in multifamily properties, condo conversions, commercial properties, and land deals, both in Canada and the US. And I used all the information I received from the training in this real estate education that I got, and I really took action. In fact, I personally invested over $35,000 in my education, but it was worth every penny because I've been involved in over $20 million worth of real estate since that time. And you know what the ROI is on that? That's like over 57,000%. During that time, I became a trainer. That's almost 17 years ago. I've taught for Canadian and real estate gurus, started my own company. I became a mortgage broker, which I did for 12 years. Then when I moved to Vancouver 8 years ago from Toronto, I began teaching at Langara in the real estate program. I've personally taught over 6,000 people, both investors and realtors, and my students have amassed millions in real estate and transformed their businesses. And lastly, I've written multiple articles in Canadian Real Estate Wealth magazine and the RAIN report. But through all this, I remain an investor. And you know, after putting teams together of real estate professionals, both in various Canadian cities, suburbs of Detroit, in Phoenix, in the Maricopa County, down in that area, in Fort Myers, Florida, and in Houston, Texas, I found one common thing out of the mortgage brokers, inspectors, lawyers, insurance agents, and property managers. The hardest team member to find is the one who has the biggest influence to whether an investor's business is going to succeed or fail, is finding a realtor who understands investment real estate and the needs of investors. Now, can I get an amen to that?
Amen.
It's true. Amen.
Now, as realtors, you have challenges. And I understand that because I was one. You have lack of time, lack of consistent income, multiple fees and marketing expenses. You've got long hours of prospecting for new leads, constantly having to fill that pipeline. You've got issues with client loyalty. You know all about that. There's rejection. There's competition with other agents. Now there's online sites. Now there's zero commission sites and zero commission agencies, right, that do stuff for flat fees. Your own personal sales skills. So how good are you at actually selling? And then you've got continuing education. Now, further to that, you've got the outside challenges of foreign buyer tax, speculation and vacancy, increased property transfer tax, the empty homes tax, the B20 stress test, which was the cause of a lot of disgruntled realtors because it totally changed the face of mortgage qualification. And then there's been low inventory. There's certainly high debt to income levels, which has led to affordability issues. And then you've got negative public outlook and confusion based on what? The media. Now, I just want to talk for 30 seconds about the media. The media is a huge proponent of creating public perception, whether globally, nationally, or locally. Do you think headlines can influence how the public actually makes buying decisions, especially those decisions on whether to buy or sell real estate?
Yes, 100%.
I know that's rhetorical. I know everybody agrees with that. The media has a huge influence. And so as investors, any investor, like Warren Buffett says, you know, be greedy when people are fearful and fearful when people are greedy. So he's basically doing the opposite of what the masses are doing. We have to quickly look, and I just want to show you what had some key headlines that have brought on this public perception. You've had the mortgage stress test causing a slowdown. You've got Metro Vancouver's sales dropping. Housing market predicted to slow. Is real estate even a good investment for Canadians? And then you've got Metro Vancouver's real estate market continuing to cool and prices falling by $7,000 a month. And even developers are delaying projects because of the sluggish condo market. And then the market is dismal because it's so expensive. And affordability is the biggest challenge for home buyers. The mass is reading this, and what do they end up doing? A lot of them do nothing. That can actually be a good thing for a certain area of the public, which we're going to talk about now. So this is a typical real estate success formula. From left to right, where there's GDP growth, you have job growth. And where there's job growth, population growth, then population growth increases rental demand. Increased rental demand naturally has decreased in vacancies, which just through a supply and demand curve puts upward pressure on rental values, which naturally moves into property purchase demand, which should put upward pressure on prices. And I just want to unpack this for a moment to see what's going on locally so we can assess what is happening in the market. Now, starting from the employment side, we know that the unemployment rate is very low in BC and that jobs are actually very hot, and there's a crisis with employers trying to find people to fill the job openings that they have. Vancouver named the top city in North America for job tech growth. And then we've got immigration here. So last year, almost 42,000 people came to BC. BC's population going over 5 million. So we've got continuous immigration coming here. Population
As an investor, this is what I love to see.
This is, yeah, exactly. So we've got population growing, and even locally, and I just pulled one city. I know that's happening in every city, but they predict that 262,000 people will be coming in the next 3 decades to Surrey. And then we've got rental, so that leads to rental demand. So we've got under 3% of Vancouverites being able to afford a house, and we've got such high rents that people are having a difficult time even to be able to put aside any money to build up that down payment account. You've got people needing to rent longer and longer. And especially, I saw this, over $3,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. And I know that is spilled out and it's a bit less out in the other cities, but we all know that rents are very high. So just a quick recap, we've got low unemployment, we've got high immigration, we've got rental demand, we've got upward pressure on rents. But right now, we all know that prices have softened, right? So that's not putting upward pressure on prices. So what's going on there? Well, we've got a buyer's market, we've got low interest rates still, but we've still got some lingering negative public opinion and fear. And we want to know who loves this environment, and I know you can resoundingly guess. Odin, you want to jump in here? Who loves this environment? Investors, thank you. Investors love this environment. Now, here's some characteristics. They're always looking for deals. They'll do multiple deals per year. They know other investors. They joint venture with other investors. They're not emotionally attached to properties. They close faster, and consequently, realtors earn more commissions. And I quickly want to show you that in real dollar amounts. Every business will do a customer lifetime value calculation. They all understand how much money that they're going to get from every client. And so based on that, they figure out the demographics or where they're going to put that box store or restaurant or whatever, and be able to understand how much money they'll be able to farm from that area over time. So our calculation is a little different, and it's a little easier. It's just number of deals times number of referrals equals a total commission. I pulled prices from last year. These don't have to be accurate necessarily. It's just you'll get the concept here. Last year, a detached was over $1 million, townhouse $548, condo $443. So I added those up, divided by 3, and we've got $667,000. So if we base our commissions off that, if you're the seller agent, you're at $11,460. If you're the buyer agent, you're at $9,720. In this example, I'm not allowing for appreciation, so it's just going to be the buy side and the sell side. So for your average client, on your average deal, I'm picking 3 transactions from one client. Now I'm taking the fact that you have gotten a call from this client. They say, can you please find us a home? And you do the buy side for the home, and then 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, they call you again and go, you were such an amazing realtor. We want you to sell our property and then find us the ultimate home of our dreams. So,
Gord, and that's assuming they don't have another 30 other realtors around them that
exactly.
all want to have that listing at the same time, that you've actually stood out and you've maintained a relationship over that 5 years, so they do actually pick you. And in that 5 years, as you've been growing, that you actually still have a good client touch.
Exactly. So, we know there's some assumptions here. So we're working on a good scenario here. In fact, you're such a good agent that they actually refer you 2 times. Now, in the average homeowner client, the amount of times that they actually are going to talk about their realtor, I'm not sure. Odin, do you think it's going to be that much? If they're at a cocktail party and they've just moved into their house, they might say, hey, I just had a realtor who was really amazing. But a year down the road, are they even thinking of you anymore?
Typically, no. That connection may not necessarily be there, but this is the perfect scenario. So we'll say, yeah, I refer my real estate agent as often as I possibly can, especially if they're good.
But your average, let's say your average client will refer you to 2 referrals. Your commission on that first house buy, $9,720, And again, we're assuming no appreciation just for the sake of this example. So you sell that property a few years later, you get the listing side, and then you do the buy side. So out of that one client, 30,900, but they've referred you twice, and those people do exactly the same thing. So you get another 2 of those overall commissions, totaling 92,700. That's not a bad relationship.
Gord, this is just to show everyone here today that it's imperative for you to put together referral programs. And as a matter of fact, yesterday I had one of the people I work with said, "Hey, Odin, let's put together a referral program." We came up with 17 unique referral programs to generate leads for that business. That's right. You heard me correct, guys. There's actually well over 20 or 30 different referral programs. So if you don't have a referral program, that might be something to focus in on to build your business. But that's not the exciting stuff that Gord's actually showing. That's just a side note to take notes. Build my referral programs. There are more than 17. Figure out what they all are.
Right.
That would be a good takeaway from today.
Or talk to Odin about that. Yeah.
You could do that too. You could do that too.
All right. So 92,700. So the lifetime value of an investor. Now, this is a whole different realm. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different strategies here. Your typical new investor will venture into the real estate investing world by buying a property to rent. So we're going to use that as our first example here. And the average hold period I have is 5 or 10 years, typically in a 5-year term. In Canada, we have that usually as 5 years. And if the person doesn't decide to sell after 5 years, it can be after 10 years. The number of deals is 2 to 6. Now, we are going to use 4 deals. Financing world.
This is very realistic for an investor to do this. So don't think this is outside of the normal. This is actually the normal. And as you educate, you will see that your investors will do more deal and they become more sophisticated, and you're positioning yourself. It's so beautiful what you're doing here, Gord.
Oh, thank you. We're using 4 deals here because many, many lending institutions will cap an investor at 4 deals. Many investors are capped there. So we'll just use that. Even though I can show you how you can get many more, we're just going to use 4 deals. So if you do the buy side of those 4 deals and the sell side of those 4 deals, you're coming up with 84,720. When that investor refers you, and a referral is so much more predictable in an investor world than outside of the investor world. And we'll get into that in just a second. So on the referral side, you have the exact same thing, the buy side, the sell side, the buy side, the sell side. So from knowing that one investor and getting 2 referrals, that's $254,000 in this example. Doctors go to school for 10 plus years to earn about $250,000 a year. And how much do they pay for their schooling? Well, we know it's a lot. I'm just attributing this to the earning potential of a doctor and more by understanding this information. Now, the other thing that an investor will do is a buy, fix, and sell. That's a very common thing, buying and flipping, right? So an investor who is interested in this particular strategy will easily do 2 deals a year. Why? Because they want to turn their money, and a reno will take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So it's very easy to do 2 deals per year, to find that property, fix up that property, put it on the market, sell it, and then be on the lookout for the next one and do it again. And that average participation can be 10 years plus because they just start turning their money on those projects. But for our example, we're going to be very conservative, do 1 deal a year for 6 years. Obviously, you're getting both sides of the commission. You're finding the deal for the client, and then you're doing the sell side. Referrals, 2. 21,000, so the entire commission by sell side, times 6, 127,000. You do that with the 2 referrals, and that's approaching $400,000 of referral money.
This is just a way of thinking, and you haven't necessarily been shown this way of thinking or been given the business systems in order to actually employ it. The ones that are employing this, You see them in your brokerages. You know who they are. They don't want to tell you the secret of this because they want to be making all this cash. But the real secret is that as soon as you know how to do this, you become an amazing real estate agent for investors. We're looking for you. We want you. We want to help you do this.
Now, here's the coolest thing, where the average buy and sell client, you know, if they talk about you, it's a miracle. Investors know lots of other investors, and we're going to help position you with active investors right away. But imagine this, having a network of investors, having pre-qualified those investors as to what they're looking for, and instead of chasing a deal, chasing a listing, chasing a buying opportunity, and tripping buyers around to deal after deal and all that, imagine finding one deal and being able to send that to 50 investors and creating competition amongst the investors for that deal instead of competing against other realtors for what little there is out there.
And so this is what Gordon and I are calling the pocket deal network. Real estate investors love the pocket deals, and the most valuable realtors are the ones with pocket deals. So by understanding exactly what a pocket deal is in relation to an investor, and then how to work with other realtors that have pocket deal investors as well, that means that most deals will not make it to MLS. The good ones typically never do.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you have a very unique selling proposition to your investor, why they should work with you. And you need that in an area that has 20,000 competitors all looking for your same dollar.
So we all know, and I'm just showing you the competition that you guys have. As of 2018, there was almost 26,000 in BC. This is looking like there's about 13,000-ish locally in the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley area. So, you know, it's a fact that less than 20% of realtors do 80% of the deals, less than 3% do more than 25 deals a year. The real telling part of this for me is that over 85% of realtors rely solely on the traditional buy and sell market for their business. So you've got 13,000 local realtors vying for that same amount of business. Do you want to be one of those realtors that are vying for that one deal or have no competition? I mean, picture this. So you've created a network, you understand what the investors are looking for, you send that pocket deal down the line, and investors make offers. It's not difficult at all. It's not difficult. You've got people vying for the deals that you have, because investors, what? They want good deals, and good deals are out there, and we train our students how to find them, how to analyze them, how to put them in a proper presentation form and send them down the line.
You're probably thinking to yourself, what kind of investor is interested in something like this? Well, I'll tell you the kind of investor, the doctor who's making $240,000 per year, that has literally slammed 10 hours per work, comes home, has to still have physical exercise, has to still have a family, and they've got this money piling up. They're looking for something they can just look at where it's already done for them, it's packaged for them, the research already finished, they spend their 30, 45 minutes on a phone call with their best friend real estate agent that makes them tons of money. There's business people out there right now looking for a competent real estate agent, and that's everyone that's here today. You're the ones that put your hands up and said, I want to be that person that doesn't have to struggle for leads.
Exactly. So where do you begin creating your investor network? Well, there's real estate investing clubs, real estate investment groups, and in fact, we invite you to join our own meetup group. And Odin, if you want to put the link to our
I'll do that. Yep.
Next meetup, so you can register and join, and we'll give you information on where it is. Now, let's talk about your existing database. So I know realtors are always wanting a solid reason to contact your existing database. So why do you do that? Well, you do that to get another sale or another referral, right? So all businesses know it's easier to sell an existing client than get a new one. Here's your next reason to contact them with a legitimate, time-sensitive proposal to get your existing database to purchase a rental property as a wealth building / retirement vehicle. they'll ask you 4 pertinent questions. Number 1, so Mr. Realtor, what am I going to invest in? Well, you just have to let headlines do the work for you. CMHC is predicting the rental market will stay at 1%. We all know that there's a low vacancy rate. Average rents will continue increasing faster than inflation. We've got a growing rental demographic, which is going to yield years-long tenancies. We've got landlords winners as housing sales are slumping. 0 vacancies inside Canada's rental housing market. So rental housing is Canada's sleeper issue. So almost 25% of all Canadians live in 2 Canadian regions, Toronto and Vancouver, and they all suffer from alarmingly low vacancy rates. Pure facts on the rental market. There's more people renting than owning. I think we're all aware of that. Millennials are having families later, so they'll naturally rent longer. Because of affordability, they'll rent longer. Many baby boomers, they're going to downsize, and a lot of them will rent instead of own because they want to go travel. Rental property outperforms stocks and bonds and cash. New housing can't be built as affordably, so it's putting upward pressure on rents. And lenders will lend you money to buy real estate when they won't lend you money to invest in their own stock. Of course, there's cash flow, there's debt pay down, so that increases equity monthly, and then there's tax benefits of owning rental property. So interest and utilities and repairs and maintenance, these are all write-offs. And then when the property eventually sells, it's not taxed at an earned income rate, it's taxed at a lower rate, which is a capital gain. So secondly, is it a good time to buy? Show me, Mr. Realtor, if I should wait or should I buy now? Well, we've got prices that are trending lower, and you guys can all show that to any client, right? April sales are lower. I know this is an older headline, but you can all show that prices are lower. We still have low rates, so will those actually reverse those trends? And this is showing that values, CBC says values will continue to rise because of the lack of housing, and that costs to build have tripled due to higher labor and material costs, and that immigration will continue to increase prices just based on supply and demand. And this is showing that prices will double between 2016 and 41. And construction costs, again, are just going to increase prices. Metro Vancouver housing market to see modest price growth in 2020 and 21. So do you not want your buyers to get in now, so not only can they have positive cash flow, but then they can see appreciation in the following couple of years? We want to get in and not buy high and sell low. We want to buy low and sell high. I'm convinced as a buyer. Now, where the heck am I going to get the money to put down as a down payment? Well, there's a lot of expensive real estate in Vancouver, and we also know that there's a lot of what I call dead equity in property. So if your client has owned their house for 6, 7+ years, 10 years, they should have a lot of equity, and therefore they can pull equity from the property using a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. And people in Canada are doing that in droves. But the interesting thing is, if you pull money out of your property and buy a car with it, buy a trip with it, buy an RV or what have you, is the interest on that loan tax deductible? Well, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial planner, but in my experience, that is not a tax deduction. But if it's pulled out to buy an investment property, is the interest you're paying on that HELOC tax deductible?
Yes, it is, but I would make sure that you double check that with your accountant.
In my experience in 30 years, I have used my own HELOC for purchases of property, and I have been able to deduct that interest. If they don't have enough in their property and spare cash, can you team them up with another investor? Well, when you get to know investors through our group and through the groups that you'll be creating in your network, you can certainly put people together and see if they're a fit. And like I say, we talk a lot about joint ventures in our investor groups. Joint venturing is a necessary thing for people to do in order to continue to build their portfolios.
A real estate agent becomes extremely valuable once they understand the nature of joint ventures and once they can actually help their clients in those, or even negotiate a joint venture with a current homeowner, then, oh boy, guys, if you think making money was fun in real estate before that, just wait until you start really getting great at negotiating deals and then bringing your investors into those deals. That becomes even more enjoyable.
Okay, so to your existing database, where should we be looking then? Well, if you've never heard of RAIN, the Real Estate Investment Network, they do excellent research on Canadian areas for real estate investment. They publish this report every year, and they base their factors on employment and population and real estate values, available inventory and sales, rental trend and vacancy rates, as well as the local real estate cycle, which is very important because real estate is local. So Vancouver came in 10th, Burnaby 9th, 8th was the Tri-Cities, 7th was Chilliwack, 6 and 5 were Kamloops and Kelowna, just for those that may be tuning in from out there. And then 4 was Victoria, 3, New West, 2, Abbotsford, and can anyone guess what number 1 is? Here's another publication. At the time, chose Kitimat Terrace and then Abbotsford. So that's from the Vancouver Courier, who put in their 2 cents. And there's Western Investor, who deemed 2019 as Abbotsford, Burnaby, and Chilliwack as their favorite towns to invest in. Now we know all those 4 components. You can put together a very formulated, strong reason to go to your existing database and show them all these factors and then find them property. Now, but way back when I was driving my 82 Honda, I got my license and I learned to list a property and represent a seller. I learned to work on behalf of a buyer, hold an open house, research on the MLS, present an offer, draft a purchase and sale contract and a lease offer, and do a counter offer. Now, I know I've polled many realtors, certainly recently, and they all concur that that's basically what is being learned still in the licensing program. So what I'm not seeing is being able to locate deals both on and off the MLS, which is important because MLS cannot be your only tool to find property. Understanding how to analyze both residential and commercial property, understanding financing, lenders and the whole lender products, and what type of deals that certain lenders will do and certain lenders will not do. Identifying potential real estate opportunities, like just looking at real estate with different eyes. Understanding how to do key investor due diligence, understanding local data, and how to package deals for investors. So not just going, hey, I think this might make money, and sending them a listing. So packaging deals in a proper way will get your deal sold so much faster. And developing an investor team, developing multiple verticals of investor groups, right? And then marketing and sales for investors and their properties, because a sale of an investor property is obviously going to be a different animal than just selling a regular principal residence. And then understanding multiple real estate niches. And what I mean by that is, on the rental side, we're going to talk about niches here. So obviously there's renting out a single family or a townhouse or condo, or one with a suite in it, or one that has up to 4 units in it, and then commercial units, rental of industrial buildings, warehouses, apartment buildings, mobile home parks, self-storage, resort properties, student rentals, medical buildings, parking lots, hotel motels, assisted living, which is the next, it's upon us, but it's actually a huge, huge thing. And then rent to own as an amazing strategy.
So just to segue just a second, Gord, I think that it's important for you to understand that there are investors for each of these specific niches, and these are just a small amount of the niches that are available. There are individuals that specialize, and good luck trying to communicate with those investors in that industry or that niche. Our job is to give you the tools and give you the verbiage so that you come across to an investor knowing what you're talking about, quite frankly.
100%. And on the other side of it, on the sort of non-rental aspect, you've got simple land purchases and then rezoning that land and then flipping that to a developer or whatever. And we're seeing land assemblies all over. There's a lot of minutia involved in putting a land assembly together. And then there's helping that investor that just wants to buy, renovate, and flip, or rip down an old house and put up a new one. And then there's doing condo conversions, so taking a multi-unit building with one title and turning it into multiple titles. And then dealing with for sale by owners. And as realtors, I hope you know that over 50% of the time, if a property that's a for sale by owner is approached strategically and properly, that deal can turn into a listing for you. And then in the pre-foreclosure area, which is a whole other strategy that needs to be unpacked, which we don't have time for. But in that, I just want to say, in that 6-month time that somebody is in the pre-foreclosure process, before a writ of possession comes down, the gavel comes down and that property is fully foreclosed on, there is opportunity for your investor during that time. Again, you've got challenges that we want to help you with. We don't want you to have to be chasing leads anymore. We don't want you to have to deal with customer loyalty, because when you are a knowledgeable realtor and are providing your network good deals, you don't have to compete anymore. You'll have loyal clients that will buy from you over and over again. So it rules out rejection. You don't even have to have good sales skills in order to find good deals and send them down the line to your investor network. So your opportunity is that Odin and I and guys like us, we need people like you to understand this whole thing works and how to find great deals. Your existing clients, they need skills and knowledge also, and you can train them. And again, you have little to no competition in this whole vertical. So we're offering a training program. Again, I've personally trained over 6,000 people, and I've been training real estate agents and investors for 16 years. I'm just wondering, what's your training budget this year? Do you have a training budget? And if you don't, you should. So our training outline, I'm just going to go over it quickly. We're going to have you understanding mortgages and underwriting and understanding what private lenders, individual lenders do, working with investor mortgage brokers and being able to talk to them logically. What's the role of CMHC, Genworth and Canada Guarantee, understanding credit as part of the mortgage qualification process, the importance of a financing binder and what's included in that for your investors, to be able to properly qualify your investors on what their capabilities are financially, what their goals are, what their risk tolerance is. We'll have you becoming an area expert and really understanding each particular area, knowing the investor-specific research, the due diligence necessary, doing rental property analysis, which is determining whether that property makes money in whatever capacity, what strategy is being used, determining the ROI, cash on cash return, net operating income, cap rate, the debt coverage ratio, moving on to buy, fix, and sell strategies, finding below market deals, the rent-to-own formula, which is a huge, huge underutilized strategy, understanding creative deal structure, presenting investor deals. We're going to give you basically a plug-and-play template for you to utilize. And then building your team of real estate experts. You don't want to be working with mortgage brokers, insurance agents, lawyers, accountants, home inspectors, contractors, or property managers that don't understand the investment business. So these people all have to be in the investment game, and they will help your deals go through faster. They'll help your clients succeed. And then understanding all these niches that we were talking about: raw land purchase, land assembly, condo conversions, turning FSBOs into deals, pre-foreclosure strategies. And then, not that we want to turn you into commercial brokers, but it's important that if you're dealing with clients that need a commercial broker, we're going to show you how you can share in that and still make money in that commission by presenting your investor in a really favorable way to a commercial broker. So you'll understand some commercial property investing basics, the financing, deal analysis, understanding calculating income and expenses, triple net, these type of things, and the acquisition costs, closing rental costs, permitting costs, etc., which is different than in residential real estate. And then understanding corporate structures, understanding how to put joint ventures together, turning your existing database into investors, where to find new investors and grow this database, and strategies in selling investor properties. And then we are, again, going to give you this presentation template so you can plug in a rental property and rent to own and apartments and such, and be able to present these deals better so you can see that you're utilizing all kinds of different factors within each property, and this will help spit out a lot of the data for you. And then we're going to give you these phone scripts to build your team of real estate investing minded experts, and then an invitation to our investor meetings. And the training is only, and I'm not going to mess around with this, the training is $997 plus GST. It's going to start November 20th at 10:30 a.m. So I'll encourage you to jump into this. This is information that can transform your business 100%. And we want to work with you because we need educated realtors like you.
What we're sharing with you here, guys, $1,000, and then we're giving you access to our network so that you can build relationships and give them what we hope that you can give them. I mean, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. And we're asking you guys, it's a small commitment, quite frankly. We're giving you 12 weeks of training, and we ask questions. You know, you ask questions, and we get you through the process. Now, before you go, we have a 24-hour offer, and the offer is this. Gord, do you want to talk about it?
We're going to give you the opportunity in the next 24 hours, if you get a hold of me at realestatetrainingclub@gmail, or even phone me, to bring a partner in with you. Yeah. So it's going to cost you half, basically, but you need to bring 2 people in.
Yep, and within the next 24 hours. So, guys, the only reason why you're not really going to get on board is because you probably don't have the cash. And if that's the case that you don't have the cash, you need to talk to us because you need this more than you can imagine. So phone us, okay? Next, for those individuals, if you bring 2 people, what do you get? Phone Gord. Like, honestly, phone Gord. Like, this right here is your negotiating happening live. Let's do it, guys. Like, you know, like, you're welcome, everyone, by the way. So if you do have other commitments, no big deal. These are all evergreen, and we make ourselves available for you.
Yeah. So everything will be. If you miss one, you can go back. You'll have access to all the trainings. I'll be doing them live on webinar. Like, I'll be doing them live online, but we're going to be recording them, and then you will be able to go back and have access to them.
But it's more than just that. It's access to us, asking us questions, asking for clarity. And actually, Vichy, you're taking the course right now. Would you say that we're available for you when you need us?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would really, advise everybody to go in for this. Every dollar has the value there. And Gord and Odin doing a very good job. I'm so happy I was able to start this course.
Thank you. Thanks, Vichy. Really appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, guys.
So the only thing that's really stopping you guys is an excuse. Don't wait for the new year. Right now, what we're doing is we're going to be starting this program for you on the 20th. It gives you a chance to clear your schedule. The date will be made clear for you. You talk to Gord. What day is the 20th? It starts there, Gord?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, what time?
10:30.
All right, so 10:30 it is. So don't let money stop you, because you realize that we've got a list of investors, and that's across Canada. We are going to help you with that. You also know that I'm a business builder. Anyone that's going to be able to work with Gord is going to get value from me and the business building background that I've got. That's how come Gord likes working with me. That we're not going to allow you to have anything other than success. We really want to work with people that truly want to care for the people they're working with and provide an incredible value. And by the way, you don't need to be a real estate agent to have the training. This will make every real estate agent into an investor. Don't you dare think you're walking out of this without the knowledge to implement this for yourself and your immediate family. Oh my gosh. No way. This is for you and your family, and you get to build a business around it also. I want to work with real estate agents that get this. I want to pay you. And by the way, one real estate agent is enough to get as many pocket deals as we need. So we need a lot of you to jump on board. Do yourself this favor, guys. It's 12 weeks. 3 months. And this is going to be the best training. You're going to look back at your real estate career and you're going to thank yourself for taking this course. Thank you. There's Gord's number.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.